guess real quick, Jay, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, what's your name? How do you go by? What's your pronouns? All of that.
All of that, right? Hey guys, my name is Jay Robinson, also known as YogaBae Jay. And my husband and I are what we call expats. We moved from the United States to the lovely Caribbean island of St. Kitts and Nevis. So I cannot wait to share all that we learned with you guys. Good, bad, otherwise in between. It's going to be a great day.
Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so let's get going. What prompted your decision to move? I mean, I know me personally, I am ready to get out of the States too because everything tropical is amazing. But
Right. There are things that go into that, right? So I'm gonna make this really long story short. So good, my husband is originally from St. Kitts and Nevis. So choosing this island was almost a no-brainer, but we can get into that also. What really prompted us to move is that we desired, we don't need anything. We desire just a different way of life. Around April of last year, my husband had some illnesses, and I mean the kind of illnesses where you have to go to the hospital. He recovered. In May, the very next month, I had some illnesses, the illnesses where you got to go to the hospital. I recovered. And then toward the end of June, early July, his father got ill. And I think that was kind of like the spark. My husband said, we have to start living our life. His father, unfortunately, passed away about 2 months after that, after we actually moved back. But it was then that just said, we have to start living our life. We have life ahead of us. Let's do it somewhere where we can have some of the simplicity and some of the ease while we contribute. So it was kind of just that, wanting a different way of life where we can truly enjoy life.
Totally get that. I get that. So is there any kind of culture shock or anything coming from the States all the way over?
Absolutely. Everything is different. Everything is different from the time that I wake up in the morning and I'm waking up to really hearing roosters crow and cows moo. I don't know if you've ever heard a cow moo in real life, but it sounds like a bullhorn. It sounds like you're on a boat and the boat is getting ready to take off. That's what a cow moo sounds like. And those things wake you, I'm telling you, it's so true. And those things wake you up at 4:30 a.m. So that's different. That's a whole different culture. Having to drive on the left side of the road, whole different culture. I'm born in Brooklyn, raised in Queens. So that was different. The food, of course, is different. It's Caribbean food, and that's different than American food. I think we've all had some exotic cuisine before, but on a regular basis, not so much. The sound of the islands are different. Where we live up in a mountain, people play their Caribbean music, and they play Sunday music early in the morning just to wake up the country, in a sense. I say the island has its own soundtrack. So all of it is different. Yeah, everything. Name it, and it was different.
That's awesome. I think that would be like a dream come true to me, to just be able to vibe off the island every morning. Is that like your favorite part of it is just the complete total difference of everything?
When I first got here, I will say that the roosters crowing at 4:30 got on my nerves. I didn't like it. So now I kind of appreciate it, because now I just get up about 5 o'clock and get my day started. Being there, I've taken a lot of video and sent to my friends that being able to get up and they're playing like some of this soft music, or even sometimes it's music to get you dancing. And I'm like, this is great. We can like sit outside our house and jam. That is really good. It is one of my favorite parts.
That's awesome. Yeah. So quick story. When we went to Puerto Rico, we stayed in an Airbnb that was kind of more remote, so to speak. And we had a rooster that I swear to you was sitting right outside of our window.
It probably was broken, just for you.
He did not know that he was supposed to start crowing at 4:30. So we were there like 1 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, wait a second, it's not even daylight yet. What's going on with him?
That is so right. We have roosters that crow in the afternoon. They crow in the evening, just whenever they feel like it. They just start crowing. Yeah, it's no set reason.
That's so funny. They're the broken ones.
They are.
That's funny. Every expat has those aha moments when they realize that they were definitely not in Kansas anymore. What was your experience? Was it just the roosters, or was there like an aha moment? You're like, oh man, this is completely different from home.
The view, coming outside and looking over the mountains. I look over the Caribbean Sea. I look over the Atlantic Ocean. When I come outside and I see the island of Nevis, our sister island is behind us. So I look over at a completely different country where I live. I would say almost the first couple of days, even till today, when I go outside, it's like I don't believe that we're here. We're definitely not in the United States. I'm looking at a whole another country, on a different country that I live in. Every day that I wake up, it's one of those aha moments. Yeah.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
that. That is just seriously my dream come true. So tell me about grocery shopping and stuff. So I know like everything up in the States is getting more expensive. Is it crazy expensive there to eat?
So yes, it can be. So out here in St. Kitts and Nevis, we use the East Caribbean dollar. So $1 is equal to $2.70 East Caribbean dollar. If you're here and you do have a US income, you almost double, you almost triple your money. So in that aspect, you would say it's cheaper if you're using like US dollars. However, for the people here that use the East Caribbean dollar, most of us here, things can be pricey. So I like the block of feta cheese, and the block of feta cheese in East Caribbean dollars is $22. So sticker shock is like, what? $22? In US dollars, that's only $8. Still expensive, but it's only $8. Some of the juices, they're like $17. $17, but again, like it turns out, it sounds like a lot, but it turns out to be like $6. So yes, it can be more expensive. But one of the things that my husband and I do, I've learned how to make my own juices, so we don't have to buy juice anymore. We eat a lot of things from the garden, lettuce, tomatoes, onions, things like that. We don't really have to buy those too much. But we also buy them at our local, like, farmers market or Saturday market. We don't have to buy them just in the grocery store. There are many farmers and things like that here. So we're able to buy them just locally instead of at the grocery store. We save a lot that way.
That's awesome. That's what I tell my husband all the time is like my dream come true to have like just a small house on an island with a little garden, maybe
that's all you need. It's the good life.
It sounds like it for sure. Real quick, I did kind of want to touch back on the medical situation. I know that you said that you guys were having issues. Do you find it more difficult to find medical care on the island than what you did in the U.S.?
So the medical care is, my husband and I have medical insurance through his job. So we are fully covered with medical insurance. If you're over age 62, you can get free medical insurance. So we're not there yet, but those are some of the benefits for, living here. One of the benefits of living here on the island, free medical care for seniors. So we haven't had much trouble with our medical care that we need. There were two things that people said if you needed, like extensive heart or extensive brain, that would be something you would go and find maybe off island for just things that are more extensive. But day-to-day care, dentistry, eye doctor, your primary care doctor, those things are easy to find here. And if you don't have insurance, the cost is not as expensive. A doctor's visit can run about $50 East Caribbean dollars, which is less than $20 US. That's so there affordable. Are things that are cheaper. Absolutely. It's very affordable. Yeah. I had to go to the emergency room back in February. I hurt my knee. Teaching yoga, I hurt my knee. And I had to go to the ER. So for the X-ray, the kind of the pain medication and the swelling, and to get seen was maybe less than 150 East Caribbean dollars, which is about 55 US dollars. So definitely affordable healthcare if you need it here. Absolutely.
That's awesome. If you were to have a heart or a brain issue or something, would you try to go back to the States? Or
I hear that there are islands closer that have the technology for the extensive work. I'm not sure what islands those are that are closer, but I hear that there are islands that are closer. Being that I'm familiar with the States, possibly, I guess it would just really depend on how much the plane ticket cost or, how critical it was. Could I get there or not? It would just be based on the situation at the time. But if there was a place that was closer, I would definitely trust another island to take care of it.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. So I know, for instance, we went to San Pedro in Belize, and that's a small, tiny island off the mainland, and they don't have a hospital on the island at all. So,
oh, wow. Yeah. Okay.
So that was something that we had found out that was kind of shocking.
Yeah, no hospital. Okay, that is shocking. So here in St. Kitts and Nevis, we have 3 hospitals. We have a main hospital, and then we have one, I think another town or village called Mulanu. And then there's another one in another village. I'm not exactly sure, but the main hospital, it's a pretty nice hospital. Emergency rooms are emergency rooms, and that's the only time that I've ever had to really go. The one thing though about the hospitals here, they have now gotten, new equipment, ultrasound machines, things like that. So they do fund money into the hospital for a number of things. However, triage is done by pen and paper in the emergency room. They don't put your information into a computer. It's very old school. I was like, you're not going to type anything in there? No, they're just writing it all down in their notes. So that was definitely different. But the care that I received was very good. Good.
My husband and I, the ultimate goal is to do basically what you have done and move to somewhere in the Caribbean. We haven't really picked out where yet, but I don't know. I'm just so excited that you're doing this and you're living the dream and you actually went through with it. And that's just amazing to me because, everybody dreams, but nobody actually, puts effort for it and
that
does
is
it. So
definitely a big thing. Thank you.
Okay. So let's see. Are there any major challenges or misconceptions that people might have about moving? So I'm over here dream come true. Is there anything that you would say, maybe you should think about this first?
Everything, let's just be everything. Because I think that when people think about moving to a Caribbean island, it gets romanticized. 9 times out of 10, you're doing it while you're on vacation. So you are still having people make up your bed. You're still having to get the fruity drinks. You're still laying out on the beach every day. You're still looking at the sun. So I get it. And I understand that's people's first taste of Caribbean life. But when you move here, somebody still got to go to the grocery store. You still have to figure out how to pay your electric bill. You still have to put gas in the car. If you have children, you still got to take them to daycare. It's real life. People forget that part.
Makes sense.
Even if you come here in a retirement age, you still got to put gas in the car. You still got to go to the, so everything
it's not all
is
inclusive.
Right. I don't just get there and lay. I don't have butlers coming to my house. What kind of place is this? No, it's definitely worth it. Please come.
That's awesome. Talk about weather. Weather is probably amazing out there, huh?
Oh, B, I'm not sure. Where are you stationed? Where are you? What's your primary location?
I'm from St. Louis, and we have what we consider the most bipolar weather that you could possibly imagine. Because at 6 a.m. it's 30, and then at 8 a.m. it's 70, and then we'll get rain and snow all in the same day.
Right. See, and because I'm from the States, again, I was born in Brooklyn. I was raised in Queens. I lived in Georgia. I did a little stint over in the West Coast in Las Vegas. I'm used to temperature changes. I'm used to getting some winter. I'm used to the leaves falling off the trees. Not here. This is just different degrees of hot. Some days it's hot and tolerable. Like today, there's a nice breeze, but still hot. You see what I'm wearing. And then other days it's like, no, I can't go outside today because I'd melt. So it's just different degrees of hot. It doesn't be now at night and sometimes early in the morning. Yes, there is a breeze, and the islands do have really nice trade winds, really nice breezes all the time. The trees are blowing right now. But to someone who is from the States, sometimes it helps, but other times it's like, well, that's just still hot. It's different. It's a tropical heat. It is the kind of heat that you're going to want to go in and take a couple of showers throughout the day. It's not the heat where it's humid. Yes. You're going to sweat. You're going to sweat without even having to do a whole lot. Okay. It's very humid, very hot, all the time. Even in December, we go to the beach, we swim in December, January, February. We swim all year round.
One thing that my husband and I talk about all the time is if we were to actually move to the beach, would we actually go to the beach, or would it be just one of those things where it's like, it's there, no big deal anymore? Do you find yourself still going regularly?
Absolutely, we go to the beach. We would go to the beach right now if I didn't have to do this. This is a perfect beach day. So
got it. Hopefully, we'll get you out of here and you can go. That sand. Yeah. Somebody's got to put their sand in their.
Somebody today, right now. The beach
what I'm trying to say.
is always calling us. Again, being that we are here and we do work, days or maybe a couple of weeks to go past where we haven't made it to the beach. But in the year that we've been here, oh no, we're going. You know what? Let's make this a beach evening, and you just go for a couple of hours. So far we haven't gotten tired of going to the beach. No.
should have put money down on that one because that's what I've been saying this whole time. He's like, no, you would get tired of it after a while.
I think that when you come from a different place and you come, I think you're really like, oh, we got to go all the time. I don't think the natives do it quite as much.
Gotcha.
It's kind of like me being from New York. We didn't go to the Statue of Liberty because it was just there. Plus, it's expensive, but the beach is free. So, right.
40 years,
so
one time.
Exactly. So I think that, sometimes you just get used to something being here. You don't utilize it as much. But no, the beach is amazing.
Love it. So are there anything that, or any kind of food or anything that you miss, like that you can't find down there or that you can't replicate?
I remember I wanted Taco Bell one day. I don't know why I wanted Taco Bell. So I just went and made my own tacos, and it was great because I like tacos, but I do remember wanting Taco Bell one day. Not too much. Before we moved here, we really had to change our mindset. We really had gotten out of the spending money frivolously. We had gotten out of just, fast food or shopping and just to accumulate things. We had really gotten out of that mindset, and we started just being happy with what we had, even in the States. And I do think you have to kind of transform your mind a little bit because there are things that are just not accessible as easily here.
Right.
So there wasn't much that I really wanted to have once I got here, and everything that I do want, it is here. It just may not be here in such an abundance, but it is here. But I definitely remember craving Taco Bell one day. I did want some Taco Bell.
That craving will hit you sometimes. I
it did.
That one for sure. What's like the local food down there? You said it was Caribbean food, but is there a local dish?
Saltfish. Saltfish is the pronunciation, or saltfish, how we say it. Saltfish is like a codfish. It has onions and peppers cut up in it, and you kind of make it. You can eat it, with eggs. You can eat it in a sandwich. Just saltfish is kind of like, and dumplings. That's kind of like the main thing that I would say here. But whatever Caribbean food that you've ever had is kind of what's here. And then they have other Caribbean islands that may have a restaurant here, like Trinidadian food is here. Jamaican food is here, and then you have Caucasian food. We have Hispanic food. We have Chinese food, or Asian food is here as well. So there's a good mix of foods, but the main thing here is the Caribbean food, the saltfish and dumpling.
Fantastic. If you were going to look for that down on vacation, where would be the best place to find it?
The best place. So I would say saltfish and dumpling. The best place to find it would be one of the local. They may not even have a name on it. It'd be one of those places you would have to know. But I will say that there's a couple of places here that I do recommend good local food. One is called Plush. It's on Keyon Street. That's a local eatery, Plush. The other one, what is the name of the bakery? Amory Bakery has a saltfish empanada. Oh, I got one this morning.
Now you're speaking my language.
You see, I was going to get it. A saltfish empanada, yes, from Amory Bakery, and that's on Fort Street, F-O-R-T, it's on Fort Street. Those are two local, and Amory Bakery's been around for like 70 years, so it's good old school bakery. Yeah.
Got it.
Good food.
What's the language down there is English, right?
Yeah. No, it's English. The sound of it, sometimes it doesn't sound like English. The patois can be very strong. But it is English. I know sometimes that my husband, he's from here. Although he's been in the States, they say that he sounds like a Yankee with his accent because, but I have to ask him sometimes, what did he say? What did she say? Because, sometimes I don't quite get it. They speak the Queen's English. You're taught the Queen's English. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's more proper English then.
Correct. Gotcha. Very proper. Whenever the people are speaking properly, it does sound a lot like England and the UK.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. Has there been any funny misunderstandings or language barriers that maybe your husband wasn't there for?
One thing, whenever you're waiting in line for something, if you're waiting in line at a counter or you're waiting in line to be served next, they say, "Are you getting through?" And it instead of saying, "Can I help you?" or, "Are you next?" they say, "Getting through." And I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know what I didn't have any idea what it meant. So I think they probably saw the look of confusion on my face the first time. And so they explained, I mean, like, do you need something? Do you want something? And now I know what it means. But the first time I heard that, I didn't know what it meant.
So do you find yourself ever wanting to come back to the States for like vacation or anything like that? Would you want to vacation somewhere cold, I'm guessing?
You know, I want to vacation somewhere that I've never seen before. So my husband and I agree that we want to see a castle. Okay. So whether that's Ireland or England or something like that, we want to go someplace we've never seen before. So we've seen the United States, and of course we haven't been to all 50 states, but we've seen the US. We lived the East Coast, we've been to the West Coast, we've been to the South. So if we were going to go on vacation, it would definitely be somewhere, you know, we see water every day. We live on an island. So now we want to go somewhere that we haven't seen. So I would say wherever there's a castle, that'd be the next place that we can walk through and see.
Scotland and Croatia are both on my list because they have castles. Yes.
Scotland and Croatia, husband. Those are the two names we got to think of. Scotland and Croatia. Okay.
So cool. Croatia, fun fact, that's where they actually recorded the Game of Thrones series. I don't know if you... Yes. Nice. We just recently rewatched it, and the whole time I'm like, look, that's Croatia.
Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool.
Yeah, my husband to go. He doesn't really like to do the long haul flights. We went to Tahiti this past November. It was the very first time we'd ever been like anything over like 6 hours, and it was a little bit of a struggle, but
I can imagine because coming here. Yeah, well, you have to because you got to get places, right?
Right.
So coming here, a direct flight from like Atlanta, Georgia was about 5 hours, let's just say. Okay. But sometimes those flights are a little harder to get. They now have direct flights from New York to here, like direct JetBlue does. It's direct from New York to here, about 5.5 or so hours. But when I also flew here, because St. Kitts and Nevis is kind of farther south in the Caribbean, it says 17 hours because you're going to have a few layovers, at least one. And the layover could be extended, you know, a good 8-hour layover in like Puerto Rico or somewhere like that. I haven't gotten a flight that was really short to get here. It's always been something with a pretty good layover. Yeah.
I wonder if that's why St. Kitts and Nevis isn't really like traveled frequently from the U.S. Yeah, not a lot of people know about it.
They don't even know about it. Right. Yes, so St. Kitts and Nevis is what I call an exclusive island. It's the kind of island that if you are going to fly here, it does have to be a commitment because it's not a quick flight. You have to really know you want to come to St. Kitts and Nevis. St. Kitts and Nevis, we have people that come here and have homes on Nevis. People like Michael Jordan, Nia Long, Kim Fields, Alexander Hamilton was born on the island of Nevis. Princess Diana vacationed on the island of Nevis. It's kind of an exclusive place to come and visit. One thing about the island of St. Kitts and Nevis, we have a beautiful port, and we can hold up to 4 cruise ships at once. The biggest cruise ship, the Icon of the Seas, now comes here. Their very first maiden voyage was here to St. Kitts and Nevis. And so now they come all the time. So we hold up to 4 cruise ships. It is a beautiful tourist area, but it is exclusive. We're out here with islands like Montserrat. Probably never heard of Montserrat.
I actually have. It's on my list.
Wonderful. Awesome.
Right.
I had never heard of Montserrat. I had never heard of Statia. I had never heard of Saba. Yes.
Saba, I know. Saba, I know.
Okay. Awesome. So yeah, that's kind of where we are. We're out there with those very exclusive islands. The landscape is beautiful, maybe because we are so far out. We have so many mountains. Mount Liamiga is one. Liamiga means fertile land. So we have one of the most fertile landscapes. So when you come here, it's 360 views of mountains and the Caribbean Sea on one side, the Atlantic Ocean on the other side. We have rainforests that are here. So we're far that we can have all of this stuff. It's a beautiful island. The thing about it is we also get Sahara dust storms. So it's the Sahara dust that comes from Africa. It comes over and it kind of coats the island every once in a while. So we get some desert dust.
That makes sense. Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's see. Have you trying to think the best way to word this. So when you go now, you're there. Do you often come back to visit family, or do you have your family come visit you? How do you still keep in touch?
So we have been here about a year, and we told people that we wouldn't probably start to travel outside of our island until about 2025. We were going to give ourselves at least 2 years, maybe even three. The universe knows no time, but we said that we were going to give ourselves about 2 years to just be on the island before we start to venture out. So we haven't been back to visit anyone back in the States yet. However, we did have, when people ask me that, I say, well, I lived there over 45 years. When you guys come into the island is the better question. Right. Come out here. So that's my response to that. However, one of my very good friends, Marie Buster Moves, her and her husband came out here in February, and they visited with us in February. So we definitely have people come out.
That's awesome. That's another thing too. We were thinking that if we ever owned a house somewhere, there'd be like these people coming out of the woodworks and be like, I haven't seen you in 45 years, but hey, let's hang out.
Of course they will. Yeah, of course they will. You have to you just have to know who's coming to visit and who's not. You put parameters.
So is it easy to make friends there? Have you found yourself like hanging out with new people?
I would say making friends is a little bit harder, even when you're, not just because of a new country, but I think it's a little harder when you're a grown up. We go to work, we kind of do our thing, we're with our families. I don't think that we're just oftentimes in places to make friends.
Gotcha.
You don't see people quite as often as you get older. And I think that connection, matters. However, through teaching yoga, I have met some other couples that seem to have some of the same ethics and morals as my husband and I. And so we recently went to a cricket game together, our first cricket game. So we are meeting people now. It was my first cricket game, never been. And the rules are different. It looks like baseball, but it's totally not baseball.
Gotcha.
No.
Yeah, so that's one of those culture shocks too. Because my husband's a huge sports fan, and I mean, he knows every sport on this planet and has probably played most of it at some point. Cool. So that was one of those that we kind of talked about. And he's like, yeah, you can play cricket. And I'm like, I don't even know what that is.
And we had someone trying to explain it, but it was like, after you tell me, let them run, and here's the points here, here's the points there, all the other rules, it's just too much for your first time. Yeah. Yep, let me just watch it, and I'll cheer whenever the crowd cheers. That's all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. What about environmental conservation down there? Are there like a lot of groups or anything that people could hook up with when they come down on vacation?
Absolutely. So one of the environmental initiatives that St. Kitts is doing is we are, I think by sometime in 2025 or 2026, I'm not exactly sure on the date, but we are coming up with a system to stop using so much plastic. So we're going into recycling more bags and plastic items and things like that. It is an island. We have to conserve it. Plastic doesn't break down. So that's one of the environmental responsibilities that the island is doing. St. Kitts and Nevis has a wonderful health program, a wonderful, not health, but just a kind of a get moving, be active, healthy living program. One of the sponsors of my yoga is actually, they're not sponsoring this, so it's actually SKN Moves. But that is they have a health initiative that they just push toward being active, eating healthy, going and getting your doctor's checks, age-appropriate doctor's checks and things like that. St. Kitts is really good on just making sure that the people of the island take care of the island and take care of themselves.
I love that. It sounds like they really take care of their people too, and they really care about health conscious and that kind of thing.
Yes.
So that's awesome. That seems to kind of stand out more so than a lot of the other islands that are in the Caribbean that I'm aware of anyways.
Yeah. Cool. When I got here, I really tried to get involved to see, just kind of see what the island was doing. Because I live here now. So the same things that, you know about in the United States, we know about the CDC, we know about the FDA, we know about all that stuff for the United States. I had to learn these things coming to a different island.
I can see that. That's one of those things you don't necessarily take into consideration. It's just there. One of the things that I really enjoy doing anytime I go on vacation is I try to find like an animal shelter or a humane society or something along those lines where I can go and just volunteer for a few hours and, spend time with the animals, that kind of thing. Does St. Kitts have one of those?
St. Kitts does have an animal shelter. So I'm not sure where that is at this time, but we do have one because I've looked and I know it's here. I tend to volunteer more with people now. So I do some work with the Spectrum Center, which is for children and their parents with autism. So I do some work with them. I also do a lot of volunteer work with the Ministry of Aging and Health. So I work with the seniors here. So there's a lot of, and then there was a kite flying ceremony. So we had a lot of people actually volunteering, making kites with the seniors to fly the kites and things like that. The thing about it is, I guess with the animals, I live with the goats. You probably will see a herd just walk past my fence in a few minutes.
That's awesome.
There are monkeys in my backyard eating my guava.
Monkeys!
So yes, monkeys. Yes.
That's
so
awesome.
I guess maybe I'm okay without the animals. That's just personal. Yes, but yes, there's definitely places out here that you can volunteer for animals and wildlife and all of that. Absolutely.
I'd love to hear that. Cool. And it sounds like there's some really cool foundations for people as well. I get along better with animals sometimes more so than people. So
I get it.
I tend to lean towards them, but
I
don't
get
talk
it.
back as much.
They don't. Not as much. Not as much.
That's right. What about like celebrations and stuff down there? Are there any big holidays, festivals, anything like that?
Oh my. My, the Caribbean is known for their carnivals and carnival season. St. Kitts was once named like the most carnivals or the most party country or something like that. It had some type of title. Carnival season is just a season of parades and celebration. Carnival season kind of represents the employees, the workers that were just kind of given their break season. So they just celebrate it by having parades and parties. They dress up in costumes and they just have days and days of parade. Our carnival season lasts from December, kind of the middle part of December, all the way until like January. So for almost 4 weeks, and it kind of coincides with Christmas. For 3 or 4 weeks, it's just parties, honestly, parties, parades, celebration, dancing, music, liming. Liming is just kind of hanging out. There's all kind of festivals and just all kind of celebration for those 3 weeks. People get off of school, sometimes they'll let off work. It's just an understood that this season is just what we're going to do. We're just going to have fun. It's part of the culture. So it's not even a thing. It's just part of the culture here. St. Kitts also has one of the largest music festivals every year. It's a 3-day festival. Many islands in the Caribbean have a music festival. So for 3 days, I want to say it's 27, 28, and 29 of June, there is a St. Kitts Music Festival. And, one day it's mainly like Caribbean music, steel pan, calypso, things like that. Another day, maybe another type of island music. I'm not exactly sure. But then there's a day of like American music, R&B. Yeah, definitely. So we'll have like Rick Ross is supposed to be here in June. Mary J. Blige is supposed to be here in June. So yeah, that's an awesome, good time that people are going to have. And the tickets are not too expensive. So
fantastic. So if you were to come down there, what would be the best time to come? During like the festival season or during the music festival?
So if you come around December, around the carnival season, everything is going to be a bit more expensive. Just, that's just a very popular season. So flights are going to be expensive. Hotels are going to be a bit more expensive, but the weather is very good. It's December, so it's not the level of hot to the 8th power. It's only hot to the 3rd power. It's different. So, right. So December is a good time to come. I say that, our peak season is actually from October to March anyway. That's when most of the tourists come, October through March. In June, July, August, to me, it's just very hot. I would not like to have guests in July and August because I don't know if I would be a good host. They might want to go out in the middle of the day and do something and they want to see Brimstone Hill, and Brimstone Hill is a fortress, but you're out in the middle of nowhere in Brimstone Hill. I don't know if I could do it. It's just really hot. I think the off season, when it's off season in the States, is probably the best time to come here.
That makes sense. So St. Kitts is in the hurricane belt? Yes? No?
Yes. Okay. St. Kitts is in the hurricane belt.
You have not experienced that yet, though, right?
So what happens is St. Kitts homes are built very well. They're built out of cement, they're built out of stone. So the damage that we see in some of the places that are closer to the U.S., Puerto Rico, Florida, the U.S., we don't get that type of damage with our homes so much. Now, I've only been here a year, so I can't speak on anything prior to that. However, when we get the hurricane, we don't get hit with all of them. Last year, around October, we had Hurricane Tammy. And it was a lot of rain, a lot of wind. My flight was actually delayed for 24 hours because of Hurricane Tammy, but we didn't have any extensive damage from it. Yeah, there were some trees that were down and there was some flooding, in kind of the low areas, but it wasn't an extensive damage. And of course, that's also, through the eyes of who's seeing it. But in my opinion, it wasn't extensive damage. So we don't get just hit back to back, or we haven't gotten hit back to back with terrible hurricanes and storms. They give out alerts. Go ahead and, stock up on your canned goods. Go ahead and get your flashlights or your candles. They tell you to do those things whenever we know it's that time. And we're kind of, revving up for that now.
Hurricane season is what, usually June through October? Is that right?
Yeah, June through October, November. I think out here maybe up until November.
Yeah, that's the fun season from what I understand. So we normally try to take a big trip for my birthday, which is in November. So it kind of works out because we usually get right outside of that hurricane.
Yes. Yeah, that's a very good time to travel. Absolutely.
November's my favorite.
I love my husband's birthday is in November. I like it.
Or Sagittarius?
He's a Sagittarius. He just made Sagittarius. Yep.
Gotcha. I am Scorpio to the T. Everything
I love
Scorpio is me. I'm a little stubborn. Can't help it, but
I'm a Taurus, a Scorpio. I love it. Scorpio and Taurus are on the opposite ends of the spectrum. We make very good friends.
Yes.
Scorpio and Taurus.
Yes. New bestie.
Yes. That's hello.
Awesome. Man, this has been such a great conversation. I feel like I don't even know what else to ask. So what about recharging and that sort of thing? So I feel like usually when I go to the beach, I'm there to kind of like vibe off of the land and, kind of recharge my batteries and that sort of thing. How do you do that? Is that part of your yoga experience, or is that separate? How do you work that?
Yoga is kind of all encompassing anyway. So even when you're not practicing it physically, yoga is a state of mind. So I'm always I'm always practicing yoga. But there are times definitely when you do have to just recharge. Things have gotten busy. You get overwhelmed with something. So even living here in this beautiful island, life still happens. One, I will say, and I spoke on it earlier, the view. I can literally zone out to that view. I can think about things that are bothering me and kind of send them on in the ocean. I definitely meditate to the view, and meditation doesn't have to look like eyes closed. It doesn't have to look like that. It can really just be kind of a focus. And so when it gets overwhelming, I can just focus. I can turn on some music if I choose and just kind of focus. But yes, in addition to that, I purposely ground myself. My husband may feel down sometime. I may feel down, and we'll say, let's go outside, take off your shoes, let's walk out. Like, we'll purposely do it. We know what it does for our body. We go to the beach, and the beach we believe is cleansing. So we will go to the beach and we will do it kind of like, all right, let's get in, let's wash off whatever it was. You're not feeling well, your sinuses, your allergies, let's wash it out. Let's do it at the beach. And then of course, through practicing yoga, the physical practice of it, I definitely keep myself joyful. I keep myself grounded. I keep myself balanced, and I just always just try to be just a joyful, bringing some good vibes to it. So we do that here. Yeah.
Love that. Yeah. I could feel that you're just full of positive energy. I could just feel
it. Thank you.
You're just being
Thank
it.
You.
Let's talk yoga a little bit. So how long have you been practicing now?
So I've been practicing yoga for about almost 10 years, let's say. Almost 10 years. Okay. I started teaching Tai Chi And then from Tai Chi, I went on into yoga. And so I didn't go to school for yoga until 2020. So, but I was practicing it way before. So to become a teacher, it's been 4 years of actually being a registered yoga teacher. And I started teaching yoga because just like most people, I saw people in these beautiful positions, these beautiful poses. I'm thinking, I can do that, because that's all I knew. I can do that. I couldn't do that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I couldn't do it at all. But it was something that once I started practicing it, I feel happy. I feel alive. I feel good from the very first day. And I knew it was something that I wanted to continue. Yeah, where I wanted to teach it to other Black women, brown women that looked like me. I wanted it to be where they felt included and inclusive. Many times you didn't see Black women teaching or Black women doing yoga, especially 45 years old. You know what I mean? It was definitely maybe a younger thing. And I wanted to be sure that I could be that teacher to say, nope, we can do it. And let's start now at 47. Let's start at 52. It didn't matter. Let's start. And so that's what got me into teaching yoga.
Okay, cool. So you have your own business down there. Do you teach classes regularly? What's your schedule like?
I do. So I teach classes every Saturday. I am sponsored by one of the companies here. I have kind of like two sponsors now, but I teach every Saturday at Nationals Heroes Park at 7 a.m. That's every Saturday. I teach private lessons. So throughout the week, I also do private lessons with people. I have my next private lesson I'm excited about. It's a couple getting married, and they're wanting to bring their families together for like a joint yoga session with their families. I think that's cool. Going to be, it's so amazing. I was like, oh, this is going to be great family yoga. I also do different contracts with the different ministries here. So a few times out of the month, I'll go and do a class with the seniors or, with the school system or something like that. And then I also teach online. I teach 3 times a week online, 30-minute classes. I teach online, just give some little short classes online. So I teach pretty regularly here. Not enough where I feel burnt out. I have my schedule planned pretty well, but I definitely teach online and in person.
That's awesome. So if somebody were to travel down there, would they be able to just join a Saturday class, or is it only for locals?
Absolutely, you can join. I have many, many tourists that join. I have people that ask all the time, where is it? I'm coming to visit in 2 weeks. Yes, so anybody can join the class. You can walk up and you can join the class, no problem. And then I have a couple of people that have inquired that when they come, they want to do a private session. So it's for anyone. Absolutely, it is. It's
fantastic.
For anyone.
Do you hear that, everybody? Mm-hmm. That means we're going to say kids. You better get on the yoga bandwagon.
That's it. That's it.
Jay is ready for you. Just one last question. Just kind of throw it out there. What's home mean to you now? Does St. Kit define home, or is it still your heart?
B, I love it. That's such a really good question. What does home mean to me now? I'm going to tell you this, and this is going to sound very mushy and very romantic, I know. And I was first introduced to you on the page with life, love, and travel. Home, honestly, is to me anywhere my husband is.
Oh, that's such a great answer. I love it. He won points for that. Sure.
I'm sure I won some points for that. I'm going to get my feet rubbed tonight, B.
You better.
But
awesome.
I have to really say that because my husband and I took a complete leap on love when we got married. And then we took a complete leap on coming here. We didn't know really anybody. He had some family here, but we didn't know anybody. We didn't come because we were coming to live with family. We came on our own. And with everything that I've done and the things that he's done, we support each other so much. So home is really where he is. Home is where my husband is. It's just, it's a beautiful thing. So if he said, let's go to Peru next week, I know I would be okay with him. So that is really what home is. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. That makes me so happy. I love love. I know. That's so corny.
I do. It's so corny. It's so mushy, but that is it. That is it.
That's awesome. So I really feel like you are living up to my name brand 100%. Life, love, travel, every bit of that. You are encompassing all of it. And that to me is literally the ultimate dream come true. So I am so excited. I don't want to keep you too long because we're a little bit past our time, but thank you so much for joining me today.
You're welcome.
I've learned so much about St. Kitts. It's already kind of been on my list. There's another one of my kind of top fans on Facebook who talks about St. Kitts all the time and how it's her favorite. And so I've already kind of done a little bit of research and put it on my list. And hopefully I can make it there this year. If not, hopefully next year. But when and if I do, you and I are definitely going to touch base.
Absolutely.
Have a little yoga lesson, something along those lines.
Oh, that would be so amazing. I'm so excited. Yeah, I got to wish it now for you to come. We're going to put in the atmosphere. Right? So you're coming to say absolutely. And then we could do like a live one of these or something. Yes. I know we could do some on location, beachside banter with B on location on the beach and sink. I already see it, girl. That's what's happening.
It is going to, we're going to make that happen for sure.
That's it.
Awesome. Well, you are now my new best friend, lives in St. Kitts.
Thank you.
I'm so excited that I got to chat with you. I see you on Facebook all the time. If you have an opportunity, make sure that you follow Jay. What's your handles?
So it's YogaBae J everywhere. YogaBaejay. YogaBae J everywhere. That's TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Pinterest, YogaBae J. Everywhere.
All the things. Fantastic.
All of them.
All right, y'all. So you heard it. Make sure that you go follow all of those different platforms.
All of them.
Make friends with Jay because she is definitely an awesome person to know. So awesome. Thank you so much. I will give you all the deets on the podcast episode.
All of this.
Can't talk when it all comes out and all that. So we will talk soon.
I love it. Thank you, B. I'll talk to you soon.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. Have a good one.